Joining us now to react is Republican Texas Congressman Dan Crenshaw. Good morning to you, Congressman.
Morning.
Good morning. Yeah, you heard Peter Doocy asking her about that. You know, if you go over, let's say you go to Europe and you come back into the country, you have to show that you have a COVID test when you're at the airport. Yet we have all these people coming in from the southern border and they don't have to show any results.
Look, the hypocrisy is really beyond the pale. And one thing that really stood out to me that Psaki said is that, well, they don't intend to stay here that long. Yeah, like everybody is trekking hundreds of miles and paying off cartels to cross our border illegally.
Vacation.
They're not going to stay here very long. They're just day trippers. They'll be right out. Maybe just do some shopping. No, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's what's going on. You know, if you're a European, you have to have a vaccine before you can even come into the United States. If you're a U.S. citizen, you have to get a COVID test before you come back into the U.S. But if you're an illegal immigrant, you don't have to have any of that. And we'll give you a hotel, we'll give you free transportation. And if you're lucky, the Democrats are also trying to give you a green card and a pathway to citizenship. So it's a pretty good deal if you just skirt our laws and cut in front of the line of everybody else in the world who possibly has a valid asylum claim to our country.
And I was reading this morning, Congressman, you know, the administration is going to welcome international travelers if they show the vaccination record starting in November. But what's going on our southern border right now, you know, has been going on for a while during the COVID pandemic. But what's interesting is all the people from Europe, we would love to have them come over because they're bringing billions of dollars in tourist money to places like New York City and your state and things like that. So we want those people over. But you're right, the double standard is just a head scratcher.
Well, the irony of her statement about that, again, was the people who are actually day trippers, the short length vacationers, those are actually, you know, Europeans. Those are actually people from around the world. The people who are crossing our border are intending to stay. And look at this. There's like 50,000 people who have crossed and don't even have a court date. Right. Don't even have a court date. So there's zero chance they'll show up for a court date that they don't even have. They're definitely intending to stay. And the people who do have a court date, only about 13% have showed up for that at all. There's hundreds of thousands of people being let loose into the interior with no way to track them, no way to get them back, and no way to enforce our laws. Look, this is such a dereliction of constitutional duty that the Biden has engaged in. It's egregious. It's egregious. And it's also dangerous because guess what else is coming across the border? Hundreds and hundreds of pounds of fentanyl. Okay, human trafficking is occurring at record levels as well. So this is dangerous to our people. It's dangerous because of the pandemic. It's dangerous because of fentanyl overdoses. And it's blatantly unfair and immoral when considering that there's thousands of people around the world who want to come to this country. They want to do it the right way. And our system is so clogged up that they can't do it.
See this poll out, Congressman, that says 56% of Texans, Hispanic Texans, have a negative view, disapproval of President Biden. That's not the numbers. That's not the way you turn Texas blue. Have you noticed that with your constituents, Texans that see what's happening at the border and are not being won over?
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, South Texas, which is largely Hispanic, is really turning against Democrats because they're tired of seeing their communities overrun by hundreds and hundreds of illegal immigrants at a time. It's unsustainable. It takes away from their education system, from their healthcare system. It takes away from their quality of life. Look, it infringes, like at a fundamental level, it infringes on our national sovereignty. And that should matter to people sometimes, but apparently it doesn't for these folks. And look, let's just be honest. Let's stop pretending that the Biden administration and Democrats have any intention of ever enforcing this. Because look, the reality is they do believe that they might have a voter block from hundreds of thousands of new people coming across. That's why they couple these bad enforcement policies with path to citizenship policies on the back end.
But at what cost? All right, Congressman, thank you very much.